Howdy folks, and welcome back to another week of Resilience Growing. It's Farmer Luke here, going to take you through a little bit of an arts and crafts session, if you will. No seeds for this week, but we do have a crop planner or a seeding planner to start to put into practice some of the skills that we've been learning over the last few weeks. Now, we're pretty much all up to skill on the different types of microgreens that you can grow with the kit that we've provided. So what we're looking at today is how to start to learn how to keep a constant supply of them through the home. So we've created what we call the microgreen planner, and all this is going to be in the EDM for this week. But I just wanted to give you a little quick kind of run through of how to kind of set it up and get going on it. So we'll mainly be doing the close-up camera today, but what I want you to do is check your email for this week, have a look at the microgreen planner and get it all printed out, and I'll show you how we can start using it. So we have a look here on the close-up camera. What I've done here is I've just cut out all the individual cards. Now I would recommend that you all laminate these as well. So get yourself a little laminator, something you use for the school books if you still do that these days, and get all the cards. So just cut them all out. And basically what you'll see here is each of the microgreens are listed with their germination time, their growing time. So that's the point after they've germinated to the point where they'll be ready to harvest. And all this little basic details, how many grams per tray, any extra tips that you need to have, like those kind of pro tips. So really what we've done with these cards is we've combined all the little tips from the fact sheets that you get each week, and we've put them all into a nice, easy to see place. Now with the planner, Abby and Tobias have done a really great job on this, and you'll see it here. It's pretty simple. It's basically germination and growing. So it's a way to keep track of what microgreens you currently have in trays that are germinating and which ones have got the lids off and are now growing and we're ready to harvest soon. And so we want to keep this really simple. So basically we'll just start with broccoli, for example. So with the broccoli, you've got the amount of seeds you need and how long it will take to germinate. So just say you've seeded a tray of that, you just pop it into the germination slot, and I'll show that here on the camera. It will just sit there, basically. And you'll leave it there for, a week or so. These, broccoli is 3 to 5 days, and then after that 3 to 5 day mark, you'll slide it over to the growing box. And basically, this is just a nice, easy kind of visual way to keep track of what you're growing. And so once the broccoli is growing and you've freed up that space on top of your fish tank, for example, you could pop in, let's go with maybe some radish. And so you pop radish into the germination spot, and there we go. So you know that you've got radish sitting on top of the fish tank germinating, you've got broccoli growing now, maybe you've taken it out of the tank, and you've got it on a kitchen bench or something like that, and it's sort of growing by a windowsill and just getting a little bit taller before it's ready to harvest. And then once it reaches the desired height, you can go ahead and harvest it. That's pretty simple there, and there's spots for 2 of each sort of germination and growing as well. So we sort of plan that around. You'd have room on the fish tank and kind of room next to it on the bench. Again, not everything has to germinate in top of the fish tank, so we're kind of looking at something like that. So we'll move now onto the small cutouts here that will go along the bottom. So you see along the bottom of your larger sheet, you've got weeks 1 to 8. And this is in a way like a crop planner, a very simple crop planner. And the idea behind this is we can move effectively the trays along as we go, and also start to plan ahead. So for example, if we start with broccoli on the first week, we've got broccoli there and the germination there for week 1. And then as it's starting to grow, we would slide it down to say into week 2, it reaches under the growing bit there. And so week 2, we've got growing, and then we can move it sort of along. And the point of this is not only to keep track of where your trays are up to, but you can start to plan ahead. So just say you've got some kind of barbecue or something coming up and you really want pea shoots for it, and you know that they take sort of about that sort of 2 to 3 weeks to be fully harvest ready. So you want them maybe in week 6 from away from now. You'd want to put peas here in week 3 in germination. So even though you're starting here, you just know in a couple of weeks' time is when you need to start germinating your peas. So they'll be ready by week 6 here, like growing, sort of harvest ready, maybe halfway between week 5 and week 6 there. And then week 6 they're ready to go. Now this is all very simple. This is something we do sort of in market gardening and larger scale farming. It's called like crop succession or crop planning. That's a big commercial setting where you're wanting to like pump out lots and lots of produce all the time. Now we're just sort of home growers here. So the point of this is more just to get you into the the thinking patterns of how growing food takes time. Normally when we want food, we pop down to the shops, we buy it and we come back, and the only real time involved is how long it takes us to get to the shops and back and maybe prep it in our kitchen. So we're just trying to expand our thinking a little bit and expand the way that we approach our food, and so we can start to understand that it takes time to seed and then germinate and grow, and we start to build those rhythms into our life. So maybe we'll slow down a little bit and maybe plan some meals ahead, not always just kind of rushing from one meal to the next, things like that. That's sort of part of the beauty of growing food at home as well. It helps you sort of get into some rhythms and to slow down and to appreciate the time and the effort it takes to grow food. Then hopefully you waste less food and you appreciate it better and it tastes better, and all those little things that kind of come together when you've prepped food and grown it yourself and made it, and kind of have this wonderful big experience at the end. And it's more than just eating pea tendrils, it's pea tendrils that you've nurtured and grown. So this crop planner is simple for a reason. We want it to be simple so it's easy to understand, and we just want to kickstart your thinking. So start planning ahead, thinking about what you want to grow, when you want to grow it, when you want it to be ready. And this is all really going to help you, not just with microgreens, but once we start to move to the hydroponics and then growing in the wicking bed, crop planting and crop rotation will become like a regular part of that process as well. So hopefully this guide's been nice and easy. Again, we'll be on the Facebook group and in the Zoom chat this week to help sort of talk you through it, and we'd love to see you guys starting to use it and any feedback you might have. But hopefully it's been pretty straightforward, and we look forward to seeing you put it to good use. Up until next week, I'm Farmer Luke saying happy growing, and we'll see you on the farm next time.